Great. I see a lot of new spaces. I mean, chat messages. So we'll just wait another 1 minute. So we'll sharp start at 9. Thank you so much for joining in. All right. Hello. I'm really glad you all are here. Thank you for taking this moment for yourself. Okay. If you joined me yesterday, we spoke about something very real, like why you can feel stuck even when life looks completely fine on the outside. Yeah, I hope you were with me. And we understood that it's not about your situation, it's about disconnecting from yourself. And let me also see for the people who are joining today for the first time. So let's know each other better. So I am Ishita Bagchi. I am a certified life coach specializing in emotional intelligence, a counseling psychologist, a DMIT counselor, and I also work with healing practices like pranic healing, Reiki, and crystal healing. But beyond all of that, I help understand people why they react the way they do. So, what feels overwhelming starts to make sense. And one thing I have consistently seen is this: people don't struggle because they don't have answers, they struggle because they don't fully understand their own reactions. And that brings us to today's conversation. Are you ready? Please type in yes quickly. All right. So, today we are going to talk about something that silently affects your emotions, your relationships, and your simple decisions. That is your triggers. Those moments where something small happens, but your reaction feels much bigger than the situation. So, today, instead of judging that, we are going to understand it. So, if you are ever found yourself thinking, why did I react like that? Stay with me. All right. Because this might change how you see yourself completely. Today, we are going to go a little deeper into something I would say these triggers silently controls your reaction. We call it as emotional triggers. And let me ask you this honestly. Have you ever reacted strongly to something very small and later wondered, why did this affect me so much? Had that happen anytime? That moment right there is not weakness, it's information. Let's understand what's happening beneath the surface. When you get triggered, your brain is not just responding to the present moment that you're dealing or you're facing. It's activating something called emotional memory networks from all the past experiences. These are stored experiences from your past, especially moments where you felt either hurt, unseen, rejected, or sometimes maybe unsafe. And here's the important part: your brain doesn't clearly separate past from the present when it comes to emotions. So, when something today feels similar to a past experience that reminds you of the past experience, your brain reacts as if it's happening again. That's why a small comment can feel like a big rejection. Being ignored can feel deeply painful. Criticism can feel overwhelming because your system is reacting to this moment. I mean, it's not reacting to this moment, it's reacting to everything this moment represented that happened in the past. Let me give you a perspective that may change how you see yourself. Most people start thinking, I reacted too much. Maybe I'm too sensitive. I need to control myself. But here's what actually happening. Your nervous system is trying to complete something that was never fully processed because we keep on suppressing certain things, especially emotions. When emotions are not fully felt or understood in the past, they don't disappear. They stay in your system as unfinished emotional experiences, like baggage. And triggers are moments where those unfinished experiences resurfaces. That is why some patterns repeat in your life. Same kind of people, same emotional reactions, same situation that affect you again and again. In fact, this is the same situation actually pushed me to learn and understand and be more curious about why these loops keep on happening, because I have faced that in my life. And this is not coincidence. This is what psychologically it is called as pattern repetition, or it's like I said, emotional loops. It keeps on happening, the same experiences, the same emotions keeps on coming. And here's the deeper truth is, you are not reacting to people. You are reacting to what they activated within you. Are you with me? Now, for an example, someone doesn't reply to your message. Your mind says, it's okay. But your body feels like, oh, is he or she, ignoring me? Am I unimportant? And then you start getting anxious. Why? Because somewhere in your past, that feeling already exists. And your system is trying to protect you from you feeling or going through that entire episode once again. But protection, however, the protection without awareness becomes your limitation. Let's make this real for you. Let's do a small exercise. Keep your hands facing to the uh, sky, and then keep your foot down. Take a slow breathe in and out. Make it very slow. Take a slow breathe in. Maybe you can count four in your mind. Hold it for four and then breathe out. Now, instead of focusing on the situation, focus on that feeling. Ask yourself, what did I actually feel in that moment? Just just one thing that you felt in that moment. Now go one layer deeper. When have I felt this before in my life? Think over. I'm just giving you 10 to 15 seconds. Think over deeply. Don't force it. Just notice if something comes up. And now, the most important question: what did I need in that moment, however, didn't receive? This is where your awareness begins to shift. And if you are comfortable, share that one word in the chat, not the situation, just the feeling. Notice how many of us feel similar things. Maybe people are even hesitant right now. I don't see anything mentioned. However, there are certain hesitation that we face to even share that feeling at times. And I completely understand. Don't push yourself, only keep it with you. What that feeling came in your mind. Now, if you just see, or if you just go to think over, even our situations are different. However, there are multiple similar, multiple people, many people facing the same feelings, and it becomes very, um, amazing that how could different situation but similar feeling. That because emotional patterns are universal, right? Are you with me? Now, I want to leave you with this thought: your triggers are not here to embarrass you. Because I see still people don't, freely communicate what they feel. Your triggers are not here to embarrass you, they are here to reveal you. They show you what still needs your attention, what hasn't been fully understood, and where your healing actually lies. Are you with me? And most people try to control their reactions, but they won't accept. However, real change doesn't come from controlling this reaction, it comes from understanding. Now that you have seen what triggers are really pointing to the question, right? So The question here is, what do you actually do with them? Because awareness alone is not enough, isn't it? What we do understand, what is it? We are aware, but that's not enough. You need a way to work with your triggers by not suppressing it at all. So, I'm going to give you a simple 4 step method you can start using from today. Whenever you face or come across in such situation, I call this the aware method. It's a practical tool that you can use it anytime where you feel that I need to do something with it. I can't suppress it anymore. All right. So, this word aware, in this A stands for, first is acknowledge. When you feel triggered, don't immediately react. And I would say this is not something, like I always tell in all my sessions, it's not something you learn it in one day or in 1 hour. It's a regular practice. Hence, I always try to give you certain small exercises or tools that you can use at any time. So, when I say acknowledge, when you feel trigger, don't react immediately. That means just pause and see that emotion passing and say to yourself, I am feeling triggered right now. And why this is important, it's been scientifically proven that naming an emotion reduces the activity in the emotional brain and activates the thinking brain. So it dissolves the entire, intensity of that situation. Try doing that. And the second, that is in this word, W stands for witness. Observe what's happening inside you, not the situation. However, your internal reaction to it. Like, what am I feeling right now? All right. Then, in that word, A stands for associate. Go one layer deeper to it. What does this remind me of? You need to associate that feeling to the event that you are relating it to. This helps your brain connect present reaction with your past memories. That way you can relate, like, okay, this is something I'm feeling because this is something I faced. Now, next, that is R in the word aware, stands for reframe. Now, gently shift your perspective. Why is this happening to me? So when we say that's a trigger, that's the loop, you have to ask, why is this happening to me? What is this trying to show me about myself? And trust me, during this process, you don't have to overjudge yourself or feel embarrassed or feel any kind of thing. You just have to follow this tool step by step. Maybe you can, best way is I will give you that other methods, like what way you can take that out, like that will come in the express method. But these are certain things which you have to follow one by one. And the last in the word aware is express in a healthy way. You're not going to bombard on anyone. You're not going to keep on throwing your moods over anyone. No, not needed. It will not help. Don't even suppress the emotion. What you need to do is, you, without reacting impulsively, just find a safe way to express. And the best way is, one one way is journaling, because that's the best practice you can do every day. I have been doing and following this since my childhood. And probably I will cover a generally journaling method that you can use in your everyday Because if you do it the right way, that always helps you and get better results in this context. Then second is speaking it out. Speaking it out means you share your thought process to someone whom you feel comfortable with. It can be anyone. And then having a mindful conversation. This is how you move from reacting to responding. So, this is a powerful reframe that you can do. The entire steps that the aware tool, you can use it whenever such situation you come across. Because as we said, right, your trigger is not asking you to react, it's asking you to understand. All right. The more you practice this, the less control your triggers will have over you, right? Because you are no longer unconscious in your reactions, you're fully aware. You know what is happening, you're trying to overcome everything that comes in your mind. You are following that tools, you are reframing it and associating it. Everything will self explain you what is it, because you're aware. So with this, I would like to mention this is exactly the work I do with the individuals, not just surface level advice. It's very easy to advise someone when we have some challenges. Lot of time you hear a lot of things from multiple people saying you do this, you do that. However, in certain situations you are not in position even to think of what is best for you. So that's where it's not about just surface level advice alone, but helping you understand your emotional patterns, your triggers, your inner responses. Working deeply, understanding it, and restoring back your own energy. And with this, I would say you would stop repeating the same experiences. You will not fall, get into that trap of facing the same situations again and again. I would say that this is a very common situation which I have heard in my sessions, that I faced this in my college days, and after you know going to my first job, I faced the same thing. It can be anything. Maybe your some overwhelming thoughts that appeared just because of the small criticism that you faced, whether it from the professors or from the your colleague or your manager. So it can be anything from the situation, but these are not going to help you if these patterns, like these emotions, are suppressed and you keep on repeating the same patterns again and again. So if today made you see yourself differently, even slightly, don't ignore that. Just stop repeating the same experiences and start responding differently by following this method. And because awareness is the first step, however, guidance helps you do deeper and much better and much faster. So I invite you to my discovery call with me one on one, a spare, the place where the space, the safe space where I can understand you better, your patterns, your emotional responses, what probably holding you back, and guide you on what you truly need, whether it's emotional, healing, clarity, or even your purpose alignment. So if this resonates with you, just message me clarity, or you will check the link in the description in the YouTube channel, right? You just click and book the session, just a space to understand yourself better. You are not too much, you are just not fully understood yet. And that will make you feel lighter. With this, any questions, feel free to connect. And thank you so much for being here. Bye for now.